Well, now, this is embarrassing. Welcome to the Red Pill Nation Hangout number 456. I am your host, Naroki5. V should be along shortly. Fortunately, I noticed that they sent the link for V to join to the wrong song, so he will be with us shortly. There might also be somebody else jumping on later, but for now, it is just little old me here. Just taking a look here to see if there's anybody else here that might be available. Okay. All right, there. I sent a message off to Roger. So currently, it is just me, myself, and I. Going to give you a couple of heads up before I get into the actual story proper itself. Tonight's episode is loaded. I do actually have the video from. I've got the Robin Westman manifesto video, which I have not actually had a chance to take a look at yet. And me and V.
You gave me the wrong link.
I know. I said, yeah, I know. I sent the proper one to you. Yes. I sent you the Robin Westman. Anyway, yeah. So we will be looking at the Robin Westman manifesto video, which will probably get this particular RPN shut down on YouTube. Zero fucks will be given about that particular aspect of the show, which probably should have come to absolutely no surprise to either myself or to V or to anybody else who's been following us. And currently we have 0 people watching. So it's like, yeah, we're talking out to thin air at the moment. We might get some people later on, but we're currently just speaking out to dead air at the moment. For those of you who don't know, Patreon, actually, I'm going to put the banner down below here. And I'm actually probably going to have to start adding this content onto the Patreon. There's the link for Red Pill Nation at Patreon. For those of you who also don't know, I am in order of size: Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, MGTOW TV, Brighteon, and YouTube, and also Kick and Twitch. I haven't actually gotten over to take a look at Kick and Twitch to see if I believe we should be up and running on those two. Let me just take a look. Oh, yeah, there we go. I'm running on both Kick and Twitch. I'm currently live both on Kick and Twitch right now. So, yeah, I'm doing just fine over there. For those of you who also don't know, I am at Facebook, Minds, Gab, MeWe, Parler, not Parler. Yeah, I guess I could include Parler, Getter, TLB Talks, and a couple of other places that I cannot specifically recall right now. The good news is that that is pretty much it. I've done all the talking. V is now jumped on board. They got the aliens to apprehend him. They have a ray gun pointed at his head right now. So V, introduce yourself.
Yes, well, I'm V, and I am currently trying out a new headset, so hopefully I'm coming through very clear. And
you're coming. You sound beautiful, man.
Okay, well, I'm in transit right now. I'm in Tucson, Arizona, and yeah, I'm about to go and do some business here on the road and get TLB talk spread around. Yes.
All right. For those of you who the topics tonight, and yeah, like I said, I have the full as V was jumping in, I have the full Robin Westman manifesto video out and available. So that should be that'll be something for a few of us to take a look at. But before we do take a look at that, let's just go over the topics for tonight. And yeah, the top, like I say, there are some. Yeah, it's gonna be. I seriously am wondering whether this show is actually going to make it onto. This show is probably not going to make it onto YouTube. The topics are, and we're going to start it with the Great Britain section because a lot of stuff happened around Great Britain. Either directly, British government did something, or they did something. Or they did a couple things here, but so one of them I actually agree with, but don't agree with at the same time. The Great Britain section. Great Britain bans vegan booty from attending the Great Vegan Camp in England, and if you think I wasn't going to mention this, you are deathly mistaken. Tween in Dundee, Scotland, gets arrested for defending other girls from Muslim predator. Topic number 2, Minnesota shooter. This is the part where we actually get to see this guy's manifesto before we get into it. There's a lot of stuff around this, and there's yeah. When I get to it, there's a disturbing underground internet element to a lot of these shooters that is starting to get some attention now. And the Minnesota shooter was kind of exposed to it, although I don't know exactly what it was. But yeah, a lot of politics and a lot of mysterious stuff belonging to this one. Topic number 3, and again, this is one of these racially and class motivated issues. Justice is moving suspiciously slow in the Rajah Jackson situation. I suspect that there's a lot of stuff going on there that's not being talked about. Topic number 4, Donald Trump calls for RICO charges to be placed against George Soros and his son Alexander. I actually saw a photo of Alexander Soros for the first time. I'm going to reserve comment on Alexander Soros until we actually get to this topic. Topic number 5, CBC caught using race-based hiring for CBC kids. And topic number 6, the woke video game about illegal immigration called Take Us North gets exposed by Asmongold. Company runs and hides. Yep. Anti-Semitism, racism, classism, hypocrisy, Muslim predators, mass shooters. Man, it's gonna be one of those shows. Whoa. So V, introduce yourself, and then we will. I will kick this off with a spectacular introductory video. I will actually premiere the new WNBA mascot. So V, take it away.
Well, you know I'm V, host of the Red Pill Hardcore Radio Show, which is on hiatus. I'm also the special projects director of DLBTalk.com, Freedom of Speech Social Network, and I am a documentarian. Yes, I've made documentaries on shooters. I know why they do what they do, because I was supposed to be one of them. So that's one of those subjects I would love to hop back into. And go ahead and take it back, Naroki.
Caught me with my mouth full here. But anyway, before we begin, let me just introduce you to the new WNBA mascot. Yes, V, you have my permission to completely laugh out loud at this one.
Y'all ready for this? Let's make it rain, baby!
Yep. In celebration of the guys that have been throwing dildos onto the court of the WNBA games. Yes, the new WNBA. mascot. And hold on a second. This is what happens when you run around and skip dinner, folks. Okay, so anyway, so let's just get right into the first topic here. And yeah, there is a lot to talk about on this one. And I also have a couple of videos that I have to show you. So I will do the first one here right now. We will cover vegan booty, and then we will lead in with the other one here, which is the Maya Summer situation. But first of all, we will deal with vegan booty. First of all, here's vegan booty crying to try to get over to vegan camp out in Great Britain. Here you go.
We are bankrupt and need $30,000 to get to the UK for the vegan camp out.
Earlier this year, our passports were taken from us after being forced into bankruptcy due to a defamation case against us.
Our bankruptcy trustees have said that we have to pay $30,000 if we want to go to the UK because they're concerned we're going to flee Australia for good. Because of this, we're trying to raise funds so that I can give my speech at the vegan camp out. The only purpose of our trip is to speak up for non-human animals, not to run away.
Under a few conditions, such as returning to Australia and giving our passports back, the bond will be returned back to us. If this is the case, all of your donations will go to Farm Transparency Project, the incredible team that created the documentary Dominion.
We only have 1 week to raise the $30,000. So if you want to support us, please head to the GoFundMe link.
And here's what happened to them.
My UK visa has been rejected because of my criminal record. The letter from the UK Home Office has declined my entry to the UK because I've had convictions in the past 12 months for criminal damage and disorderly conduct, despite this just being days away from this period ending. Additionally, I've also been rejected because my record shows that I'm a repeat offender. If I continue to commit offences, I will never be allowed to enter the UK again. This is interesting because 2 years ago, despite having a criminal record, I was allowed to enter the UK after being held at customs, interrogated and searched by police and border security. The thing is, I don't commit offences to cause harm. I'm a non-violent activist fighting to end the exploitation of non-human people. And because of my bankruptcy, in order to leave Australia, I would have had to pay a $30,000 bond to my trustee to prevent me from fleeing the country. Last week, I began to raise those funds so I could go to the UK vegan camp out. But due to these circumstances, I'll be giving all donations to Farm Transparency Project, the creators of Dominion. So for now, I'll hand my passport back to my trustee and continue my mission to end the animal holocaust.
Okay, so vegan booty. We have covered her on a fairly large number of occasions. Batshit crazy is the first word that comes up with her. She ran out in the middle of an women's Aussie rules football game and caused a massive disruption. She has gone into butcher shops and literally gone in with like a squirt gun and covered the place in blood. She has protested at a rodeo where one of the rodeo people that worked there picked her up because she's only 5'1" or 5'2". She picked her up WWE style and literally threw her over the fence, which is actually kind of funny. Her boyfriend, peace, love, and tolerance, mate, has been recorded on a video. Sorry, that's Feely Banana Girl's boyfriend. Sorry, another unhinged Australian vegan. She's done a lot. But what really got her in trouble is when she went and protested at a veterinarian, and she accused said veterinarian, and this is no word of a lie, she accused said veterinarian of eating the animals that he was caring for. which is, patently a lie and patently ridiculous. But they can't let facts get in the way of a story with her. And as much as and she does have an OnlyFans, and no, I have not gone over to look. Isaac Butterfield has had some rather colorful comments to say about vegan booty over the years. Vegan booty. But nobody has actually, she's faced legal trouble because she is like one of those vegans that is just like literally right over the top and just nuts, like nuts. And as much as I dislike her, her behavior, and this is something that, and when we get to the second part of this, and when I show the second part of this, like her behavior is not really something that warrants a full-on restriction. But then again, we are talking about the government in Great Britain. The protests both in Great Britain and Ireland over the immigration policies at both of those governments. And by the way, I'm going to point out something to you. Ireland at one point went so far as to try to ban protests against immigration outright. I'm trying to recall if somebody can fix that up for me. Britain at one point practiced two-tiered policing when there was a massive protest against immigration here. Actually, I believe it was even less than a year ago. So this is not something new, not something new by a long shot. But as much as I dislike vegan booty, if she had put the $30,000 together, and by the way, she only got up to about 5,000, so yeah, like she was not going. So yeah, she'll just have to do her damn presentation via Zoom. She's not going. I really don't think a full-out ban was deserved, but given how polarizing and how antagonistic vegan booty has been, and given how insane her behavior has been, I really can't. I really cannot. I understand why the British government did what it did. The problem is that it's like this level of hypocrisy towards her. And like I said, there's going to be a very consistent racial and immigration content to this show tonight. But for right now, I'm pretty much talked myself out. So I'm going to turn it over to V.
Yeah, well, I can only do side commentary here because, you didn't send me any of the videos. I don't know what it is that you're looking at. But I do.
Did you not watch them when I was showing them here? Did they not show up?
Oh, they don't show up for me.
They don't?
Last episode, they didn't show up for me either.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you should. Have you perhaps gone over to the actual gone over to the Rumble channel and taken a look there?
Okay, so I would have to use a separate device for that.
Oh, okay.
And so, again, I'm on the road right now. I don't have my setup up. So,
wow. Okay.
But that's okay. I will say though, I love vegan booty. I absolutely love the girl, just because she's stupid. I love the fact that she is so outspoken and stupid. But she gives a contrast. For those people who are sort of iffy about something, and then you have that total nut who's on the outside of the issue, who's a total freaking nut. So for those people who are kind of iffy about an issue, going to look at someone like that, they're like, oh, okay, and that gives a little bit more perspective. Looking at wrong information that's absurdly wrong can push you in the right direction. Still, so she has a purpose. She has value. She has the right to do what she's doing. Okay, that's my opinion. But she's actually one of the first people I run into before as I was back in ascension and knowledge and my research. She's one of the first individuals I ran across. It's like, wow, she is off her rocker, but I like her conviction. I don't know, she had something up saying like, give you a blowjob if you stop eating meat for the rest of your life or something like that. or she'd have sex with you if you promise never eat meat for the rest of your life. Like, wow, that's dedication. That's
Hello.
she's a vegan teacher. Yeah.
Oh man, vegan teacher makes vegan booty.
She's completely wrong.
Yeah, looks sane by comparison.
Yeah. Well,
and then there's Vegan Gains, who also, by the way, has an OnlyFans with his girlfriend.
God bless her. Yeah, I mean, she has had naked material out there. She stood in front of a police station, topless with a friend. So the content's out there. She doesn't mind showing her body. It's just meat, anyways, right? Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So I've had a bit of crush on vegan booty for quite some time. Yeah, total idiot. I don't know what it's about these girls. Like Thornburg. I like her too. Oh man.
Oh, Phoebe Banana Girl looks quite nice too. General consensus on both of those women is would bang and then would run as far as fast as possible away from them after the fact. That's just me.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, hold on. There's this photo of her right here. I mean, she actually looks pretty good in this photo, right? Can you see the photos I'm posting up?
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, I can see the photos. No problem.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She looks actually pretty good in that photo. But I mean, it's like it's it's kind of hard to take the vegan community seriously when they keep trotting out winners like Vegan Teacher and Vegan Gains and Phoebe the Banana Girl and Vegan. It's like or would they do stuff like they go to a steakhouse in Toronto and start screaming and yelling in front of a steakhouse because they don't have a vegan option, and the owner of the place decides he's going to take his cut out, plops it by the front window, and actually starts cutting it up right in front of him. I actually loved that particular scene in when that was called The Rack, I think. It's a restaurant in Toronto. Yeah. Let's just say vegans don't make a very good case for themselves when they do this, and I think you and I would both agree on that. But in light of this, now what I'm going to show you, and unfortunately, did you have by any chance the chance? You're not going to be able to see the Robin Westman video. Can you at least hear it?
No. All I hear is you.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. All right. Here's what I will do here. I will go on Twitter and I will send you the link. It's going to take a little bit of time here, unfortunately. So while you're watching it, all right. Here we go. Twitter or X. Sorry, X. All right. So yeah, hold on a second here. I will get to it here. Media. I will post it up in the chat here as soon as I find it. Yep, there it is. Okay.
Well, I mean, you can give the gist of it, and I'll comment from that. You always do a good breakdown.
Yeah, okay, hold on a second. All right, I'm putting it up in the chat here, just in case anybody can see. There, it's up in the chat now. All right, but anyway, for those of you who cannot see it, I am now going to show you the video from the video from where Maya Summers was defending her sister. Really kind of almost disgusting response to it. And yeah, V, as soon as you're ready, I'm gonna click on it. So here we go.
Go right ahead.
You don't dare!
Yes, you have a knife.
You don't dare fucking help me! You're fucking bad and
Why are you fucking with us?
These are fucking kid bashers!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Get
Show
the
the knife.
fuck away from us!
Show the knife. Show the
Don't
knife.
touch her!
That's
Don't
it. That's
do whatever
it.
you
Show the
want to
knife.
me. Don't touch my little sister!
Show the knife. That's it.
Don't fucking touch my little sister! She ain't fucking 12! Where's her fucking catching me? She is fucking 12 and you just battered me, mate! Where's her fucking catching me?
Yeah, show the knife. Maracha.
Don't touch her, you're to me! Don't touch her!
Okay, yeah. The event itself, this guy was actually, don't know why, actually he pulled the camera out because allegedly he was trying to protect himself. But there were actually two of them. The woman that was with this Muslim guy actually grabbed Maya Summers' younger sister and actually started physically assaulting her. Before all of this happened, it looked almost like they were almost trying to drag her little sister off. There's been a couple of people, and this is how bad it's gotten in the British media. There was a couple of people in the British media who actually tried to shame Maya. Because, I mean, she was clearly packing weapons. She doesn't know how to use them very well, obviously. But, I mean, she was packing weapons around. And the whole situation was such that, I mean, the guy, the situation beforehand, the guy was clearly, trying to pick these, clearly underage girls up, or at least that's the alleged part as well. And there was a female companion with her, helping him. So this gets into, and by the way, This is the hypocrisy of it. They won't allow vegan gains. They won't allow vegan booty in, who is, I mean, batshit fucking crazy, but not disruptive. To the point where she will go out and actually, I mean, she'll disrupt the business, but she's not going to go out and start trying to sexually assault anybody or kill somebody or drag a girl off the street or anything like that. But they let this guy in. And they arrested the girl for defending her sister, which absolutely, by the way, leaves me just gobsmacked. And there was literally press that were trying to shame this girl for doing what she did for her own family, by the way. Like, this was her little sister that was being attacked. And the idea on this was that, well, why is she carrying those weapons? And I mean, while that is a legit question, it deflects. It was a rather pathetic attempt to deflect away from the issue of why was this guy out with another person attempting to grab basically tweens off the street, right? And also you have the racial component here. Although, I mean, I'm going to have to get rather technical here because this is something that really gets confusing. On technicality, Muslims fall under the brown category. Fact of the matter is that in terms of ancestral DNA, in terms of genetics, in terms of body structure, they are like the people that are from the Middle East technically qualify as Caucasian, although they're brown because they've lived in that region for so long that their skin has a much higher melanin content than, say, people who live in the Caucasus, which, by the way, is where the term Caucasian comes from. So the issue here is that so they won't let vegan booty in, but they will let this guy in. And by the way, the crime stats clearly show that rape gangs and human trafficking and sexual assaults and robberies and all sorts of other things are clearly on the rise. And this kind of ties into the George Soros thing, which we will get into in just a couple of minutes here. But the whole thing is that, you know, one 12-year-old, I think she's 14, one 14-year-old girl decided to hold the line against a pervert. I'm also going to point out one other thing before I turn this over to V. And that is the shaming men for not intervening. I have just one name for you and one name only, and I'm beginning to think that maybe that prosecution of this guy was not an accident now. That's Daniel Penny. Daniel Penny intervened on that subway to protect a couple of senior citizens from in the media, he is portrayed as a fun-loving black African-American Michael Jackson impersonator. In truth, that fun-loving Michael Jackson impersonator had a rap sheet as long as the arm and me and V put together. There's videos of him being violent on the street. There's actually a video which even got taken down at X/Twitter of him like literally shitting in the fucking subway, right? But Daniel Penny actually, for intervening on a guy who was being clearly dangerous. And by the way, we're seeing more and more of this. I've posted up videos like this before, where the guys don't want to intervene. And it's, I mean, my new job, I am front facing and I have to deal with this particular crowd a lot more now than I have in the past. And just the drug addicted group is dangerous enough. I don't want to start getting into the possibility that, I mean, like, the mainstream British media literally went to bat and defended a potential pedophile over a naturalized British citizen who was protecting her younger sister from a potential abduction, potential sexual assault, potential whatever. And the fact that this video went viral is kind of dangerous. And also, guys, like, shaming men for not intervening. Well, again, right? Go look at Daniel Penny, right? Like, him doing an intervention did not go well for him. And like I just said about a minute ago, I'm actually starting to think that prosecution of Daniel Penny may have been done with that intent, which was to prevent men from interfering in stuff like this. And there's been a couple of other cases where the guys have attempted to intervene and have ended up getting. By the way, this is not anything new. By the way, anybody who's dealt with and I have had to deal with intoxicated individuals or couples arguing or whatever, right?
Well, that's what I was going to talk about.
I mean,
no, go ahead.
That is, I will have. I'm sure you have a lot to say on it too. It's like, yeah, that is a potentially loaded situation because they could just as easily turn on you. Police don't want to step in on a domestic call unless there is more than they have to have at least 2 units when they do a domestic call. Hotel security, for instance, when I've worked hotels, when there's a potential domestic situation, security usually brings at least one other person with them when they knock on the door. So, but that is domestic security. This is an immigration issue. It is starting to really seriously boil over. Canada, it's not quite as bad yet. I think the Alberta independence thing is kind of, to a certain degree, it's kind of over. Hold on a second. Trev, take it away, V.
Well, all right. Yeah. Well, so I love the fact that there's this whistleblower. You can't see me right now because I'm doing air quotes. This whistleblower, the CIA mind control scientist, who's come out and he's trying to give little tidbits about this and that, and he's done these 2-hour long videos about this and that, and he drops a lot of BS. He likes to blame society for a lot of things when it's really not society's fault. He used the example of someone getting mugged in New York and nobody stepping in to stop it. Well, the thing about that is, if you've ever been to New York, there's a lot of hustle going on. All right, you step in those situations, and it turns out the woman and the man, they're in league together, and they turn around and rob you. So that's one thing. And then you got the other situation of, you get caught up in something, right? And next thing you know, you are liable for something. For example, now this is not a myth. I've looked this up. This actually happened. There's a woman drowning. I can't tell you the body of water, location, or anything, but there was a woman who was drowning. A man goes in and pulls her out of the water and does CPR on her. you know, actually pulls her from the brink of death. Okay, he does CPR. He's pumping on the chest. He's blowing in the mouth, and she comes to. Later on, the same woman sued that man because he didn't have permission to do that. He didn't have permission to touch her. He didn't have permission to resuscitate her. You know how in hospitals you have to have paperwork saying they can resuscitate you if something bad goes down and you start dying? I think that's kind of where it probably came from. She thought she could do the same thing and sue. But yeah, she successfully sued this guy for touching her without her permission and saving her. So I know I've been in those situations. You know, the woman is completely unappreciative. It's like, you know, you should have mind your business. You should mind your business. You just knocked out my boyfriend. You know, how am I going to get home now? Get out of here. I hate you. It's like, okay, well, I was just trying to help. So, yeah, I've been in these situations. And it's like, yeah, that's why most people just, and they say, oh, just call police. And police are never there on time. But it's because you have these kind of individuals that make it necessary for police being the only one authorized to handle these situations. Okay? Chivalry is not rewarded anymore. Chivalry is looked down upon. And then you get those women, like, I had everything in control. You should have intervened. I didn't look that way to me. No, it did not look that way to me. That's your opinion. I had it. We do this all the time. Just you butt out. Oh, yeah, really? Okay. Okay, well. So the death of chivalry is by the hand of the woman. I hate to say it, but that's a bit of a fact. So I hate that goes on because I'm a protector. I do that myself. I'm a protector. If I see someone completely disadvantaged, I've always beaten up bullies my whole life, high school, junior high, whatever. I've beaten up bullies. That's kind of thing. I've always been sort of like the underdog in situations, but I come up on top because I'm doing the right thing. And I really hope that we can get back to that in our society. But as it is, you know, women, they want their equality, right? Well, you can't have equality and expect men to be chivalrous at the same time. You got to choose one. It's one or the other. I hate to say that. It really is. It's one or the other. A man being totally torn down because he's protecting someone who thought they could handle the situation. And really, I've seen it happen both ways at once. Women talking mad trash to a dude like she can beat him up. Talking mad trash. All right? She puts hands on the guy. Next thing you know, he's putting hands back on her. And then it's, oh, help me. No, you did that, honey. You did that. You did that and you get yourself out of the situation. You can't be a superwoman and go and attack someone and then expect someone to rescue you when you start losing. That's not the way things work. Women have just society and reality just, I feel so bad for them because they don't have any common sense anymore. It's all about trying to leverage and flexing what privilege that they have or that they think that they have. And flexing on people. They think they got enough, and that's just not right. So, yeah, I mean, Yeah, anyhow. With that, I'm done. Go ahead.
All right. I'm currently at X right now at the moment. I'm actually finding, if you can't see it, okay. Yep, there it is. Okay, the Robin West. If you can't actually see it on the stream, I am posting up the link for the Robin Westman video in the chat. Because V can't see anything on the chat, but yeah, we're gonna be. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here with this particular situation. You know, V has got some direct experience with this. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to have a lot of experience, but I mean, again, right? What's ultimately going on here is that I think the Maya Summers situation is kind of like a triggering point, because I've noticed all of a sudden that the pushback against immigration has suddenly notched up significantly over this. And it's like, again, right, when I get into the Robin Westman video, by the way, the amount of deflection and excuses around this particular video is going to be absolutely going to leave you just gobsmacked. Because if you thought the attempts by the mainstream media to attack Maya Summers and to have the police arrest Maya Summers for defending her sister is bad, wait until you see some of the excuses that are being used for Robin Westman, or in a lot of cases, what's not being used for Robin Westman. And I will find, yep, there's a photo of him. I will use this one right here. So without any further ado, as soon as I timestamp this, we're going to go on to the Robin Westman video, just giving you a quick suggestion here. I have seen sections of this video. I have not seen it in its entirety. So yeah, I am almost as new to this as you will be. I am almost, because YouTube did ban this video, so I'm almost certain this is not going to be going up at YouTube. But then again, YouTube's been surprising me a little bit. I thought that all of the other content that I have been posting up at on this show wasn't going to make it up onto YouTube, but it also made it up. But yeah, parental guidance suggested to the 5 people. This is the whole Robin Westman video in its entirety. The 11 minutes that I could get off of Twitter. What I have seen so far is really disturbing. Just giving you a heads up here. So here we go.
Here's my note to my family and shit. Wow, some English writing. Wow. Hope you can read that. Yeah. Peace, love, unity, and guns. Baka, my brata. Baka. Nine millimeter. Get fucked. This message brought to you by BlackRock and ExxonMobil. Sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon. Brandon Herrera for president. Yeah, I met Brandon Herrera at SHOT Show last year. He and I had a brief conversation, but like we agreed on a lot of things. So y'all should vote for Brandon Herrera for president. And Vintage Warfare promotes love and peace and accepting differences. Tomorrow, I'm sorry to my family, but that's it. That's the only people I'm sorry to. Fuck those kids. Skibbity, skibbity. Shit. I regret everything. I didn't ask for life. You didn't ask for death. I'll make my own fucking stars. Yeah. Watch my 9mm go bang. I'm the woker, baby. Why so curious? Where's your fucking god now? Shit. Skibbity Riz. Scum gang. The big boy. Fucking rip and tear. That's the big one. Don't forget to live, laugh, and love. And this one's for me, in case I need it. Right up in the fucking mouth. Some smoke, extra thick. Eat shit, motherfucker. Ah, koshmar. Vivimos en el sociedad. Help me, I don't want to be here. Well, you're here. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, another one. Where should we get motherfucking Breivik Genjin? Fuck up, dicks. Fuck Nigel. That dude raped someone. Yeah, man. Yeah. Got my new headphones so I can hear them scream. Nice, nice. Oh, we got good shit. Here's my belt. Yeah. Stupid, worthless, useless bitch. That's fucking good shit, man. Plug. Oh yeah, check. I got my shirt. Skajou. Better than the best. I got my Minnesota patch. In the fucking FSB. Maybe I look like a cop and I won't get rushed or something. I don't know. But shit, let's fucking do this before anxiety kicks in. Yo. Oh. Oh yeah. Check this out. Got more Jew gas taped on this end. This will be for the emergency exit. Pop it through the hand. Oh, there's Garfield. This is all too fucking real. Nigga. Yeah. Tomorrow. I love you. Hate you. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel really good.
Well, there we go, folks. Very first thing that I noticed right away, having seen this video in its full entirety, is the fact that this guy hasn't all, like, ammunition isn't cheap and guns ain't cheap. And getting that gas is not cheap. So this very much resembles, and here's the thing, right? While I was doing a research onto roadblocks, I stumbled into a content creator on Rumble known as BX. BX is suggesting, and I can't remember but there is a group called the Accelerationists, a satanic sect called the Accelerationists. And their belief is that they believe that it is necessary to accelerate the decay of Western society. Now, are they being backed by anybody or whatever? Well, here's the really weird part. BX has done some research into this, and what she has pointed out is the Buffalo shooter, for instance, the one actual white shooter that was actually racially motivated. There is a suggested strong connection to accelerationists with his stuff. There is been, and this is also something that stands out, that the Uvalde kid who somehow was living with his grandmother and working part-time at Wendy's, but somehow was able to get a massive cache of weapons and a new truck before going on a shooting spree, which incidentally targeted kids. Just thought I'd throw that out there. The mainstream media has been doing its damnedest to try to not bring up Uvalde, but it was the Uvalde shooter and this guy, Robin Westman, both of those incidents have that particular aspect in common. They both somehow were mentally unstable, but they somehow were able to get enough money together, or were somehow able to get access to enough cash to buy a huge cache of weapons and ammunition and stockpiles of stuff, and to plan things out. I think another look at the Uvalde shooter might actually be in order here. The other thing, obviously, you can tell by this guy's voice that he's really, obviously and quite clearly not there mentally. That's literally a no shit Sherlock comment. He's literally, there's nobody home, and the whole thing is, it's I am beginning to the mainstream media in this particular case, because Robin Westman was white, they actually tried to pass this guy off as a white supremacist, MAGA supporting guy. At first, the whole thing fell apart when his manifesto was seen and was caught, and when his video was noticed and posted up and whatever. I don't think this guy had a political affiliation, to be honest with you. I think he was just mentally unstable. And and by the way, here's another part about this. And this is something that I think is probably going to need to be addressed here. A person's medical records, for the sake of investigation and sake of transparency, can be released in a court of law, and the contents thereof can be released, as opposed to confidentiality. And by the way, that confidentiality ends at death of the individual. There's a strong obviously, when you listen to this guy, there's a very strong mental health component to what's going on with this person. The other part on this that really stands out is that there, again, going back to BX and talking about the satanic component, there's a lot of satanic imagery on those weapons and on those guns. He says at one moment in this video, fuck those kids. So obviously he knew what he was doing ahead of time. He was totally intentionally going to premeditatedly murder those kids. That was the goal right from the start. There is the way that the mainstream media also And this is because this is why the alt media is there. The alt media has been pointing out that this guy was trans. The mainstream media tried to bury that fact. What you're seeing on the left is you're seeing attempts to deflect this going on, because this particular, of all the trans shooters, this guy, well, maybe the dude in Uvalde was potentially more sick and sadistic, but this particular shooter, you know, the way there's literally almost like a pattern emerging here over this. And I think I didn't do a super deep dive. I will also say to a certain teacher who got exposed on Libs of TikTok, and I probably should have also posted that video, but I didn't want to give the asshole the publicity or the press. Like, this was a guy who was like literally cheering this individual on and saying, yes, it's about time that Christian children ended up facing the same type of persecution that we've been facing as gay people. And then, of course, you go and you look at this guy's, they started doing a deep dive into this guy's profile, and lo and behold, suspicious grooming behavior, strong LGBT content, suspicious activity. Obviously not a guy who was all there mentally either. Again, though, that was what the video immediately sprung up to me, is that this guy had an awful lot of weapons. At least a couple of $1,000 worth of firearms, just firearms, not including the ammunition, which is actually fairly easy to get in the smoke. But I mean, it was like, yeah, like he had an arsenal there. That was not, you would either have to have purchased all of that stuff right away, or you would have to have been given that type level of ammunition, or that would have meant that he was planning on doing this for a very long time before he actually did it. And yeah, really very disturbing stuff. I would suggest you go and look at because BX had her YouTube channel taken down, by the way, which should come as absolutely no surprise. But her stuff at Rumble is still out, and you can go take a look at that. I will, hold on a second. I will post up the Instagram link for BX, because she has discovered a very strange, and in particular with the way the incel community appears to have been infiltrated by individuals who really do want to turn these people into serial killers. And again, of the sections of the manosphere, this is the reason why MGTOW, the men's rights movement tends to, the MRM, men's rights section of the manosphere, tends to treat these individuals with, like, these are individuals with that are in pain and that need to have their issues addressed. And yeah, they're absolutely right. MGTOWs just absolutely in general despise incels, mostly due to the fact that, under different circumstances, a lot of MGTOWs could have ended up as incels. MGTOWs are guys that know better, though, have transcended the need for female validation. Incels never got there, and if they would just get there, this wouldn't be a problem. But again, right, BX goes into one of the incel forums and talks about this particular issue and about how there was, and this, when we get to V and V starts talking about psyops, I think V will have a lot to say about this. Very clear strongly suggested psyop activity happening at certain forums. And, given the very, very strong similarities between this shooter and the shooter in Uvalde, and how they somehow managed to get a similar amount of ammunition and weapons, even though they clearly were not mentally capable, probably, of even holding down a job, gives a very strong suggestion that some of the things that BX has been talking about in terms of accelerationists and the cults involved in it, that I think needs to be taken a little bit more seriously here. And like I said, V has got some running familiarity with this particular topic. So, let's hear from V, because I'm sure V has got some very interesting things to say about
this. Yes, well, okay, so let's start by going into my history here. So you have the NSA. The NSA has something called on-shelf shooters. These are people who they've selected to push into becoming shooters. Now, there's a formula to this. Okay. I was an on-shelf shooter selected person myself. However, if anybody knows me, and they should have asked somebody before they targeted me. They should have asked somebody. You can't mold me. I break molds. Okay? That's exactly what I did with them, just like anything else. I broke their mold. So I didn't go shooter. Not yet. So I'm just joking. So it would be better if people didn't immediately go to the mental health card, because that is the narrative in which is being pushed. That's what they want pushed. They want it to be an issue of mental health. They want it to be an issue of instability within someone originally, instead of that instability being put into them. Because if people operate from a distance, like the cowards that they are, they're never hands-on these days. It's always electronic harassment. Either they're being hacked, or there are people that will screw with them. That's in their lives. Like they'll plant a teacher or a principal or someone to make their life a living hell. They will use voice to skull to make it seem like the person has schizophrenia. Yes, they have synthetic telepathy. I'm on the road to proving that. I know how it all works, but it's collecting the evidence, the data, that's the hard part. Because I've done the studying and I've made the connections. However, but I've gotten so far into this that it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that nobody's found this information that I've come across and made the connections that I've made. But I digress. So we need to be, and just the same, actually. So you have the flip side of it, how they didn't mention that this guy was trans. Well, they don't want that agenda screwed with, okay? Because the more people that they have confused about their sex, the more chances that they have with screwing up society. You want to talk about accelerationists? Your shadow governments are accelerationists, okay? They want to screw up as many people as they can, as humanly possible, because you know their modus operandi. From chaos comes order, so we get a tighter and tighter security state. But they want as many men cutting off their penises as humanly possible. So they don't want the finger being put on to trans people quite yet, even though we know they are mentally unstable. Okay? They don't want that there. They don't want that that association there. So that's why these trans shooters, that information gets dropped out. You got to find out later on through more research that they were trans. But yes, of course, these people are mentally unstable. I don't know how many people are being psyoped into cutting off their sexual organs. I mean, I know there's the chemical persuasion, the chemical influence within our environments. There are things that are turning us into turning us asexual, turning us bisexual, turning us gay. You know,
turn the frogs gay. Turn the frogs gay. There's frogs walking around with lipstick on, trying to pick up little boys. Continue.
Yes. Have you had your swig of atrazine today? Okay, so yeah, so you've got the TV, you've got the internet, you've got these media influences of sexual deviancy. So the programming is there. Okay, you want to hide behind the the flag of freedom, and people should be doing whatever they want. Absolutely, people should be doing what they want, but they shouldn't be psyoped. If they're being psyoped, then it's not freedom; it's mind control. It's a mental prison. It's a social engineering, which should not be going on, at least not by the powers that be. But you know, Ephesians 6:12. That's all I gotta say. I'll pass it back on to you.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. We might actually, if we have the space, we might actually be talking about this Minnesota shooter on 457, if there is space for it. There is definitely some very, very, very suspicious activities. And again, right, and I'm sure you've noticed it too, V, you know, like both Robin Westman and I can't remember what the name of the Uvalde shooter is. Hold on a second. Let me just take a look here. Uvalde shooter name. Because he was, one of the things I remember about Salvador Ramos is one of the things I remember also about the Uvalde shooter is that, I mean, Uvalde shooters, that they really, really tried to make, even though he's got a Hispanic last name, he clearly had black. He was not black, but he was Hispanic, right? Like CNN and the mainstream media, like, put photos up about him, which made him look a lot paler than he actually was. But both Rob Ramos and Robin Westman, this is the one. This is the biggest single question that pops up with both, because they both targeted kids. That's the thing, that they both targeted kids. They both were clearly mentally unstable to the point where it was fairly obvious, even to an outside observer, that these people were mentally unstable. But both of these individuals somehow got access to enough cash that they felt that, and enough weapons to go on these massive shooting sprees. And both of them targeted kids. And it's like, you know, that has a very strong accelerationist aspect to it. And it's like, you know, as you can see from the photo that I currently have up, I mean, this guy was not a Trumpster. It's like, I mean, he has this is the big magazine he has, and it clearly says "Kill Donald Trump." So this guy was not MAGA, and the mainstream media, because he was white, and they didn't want to admit it was trans, of course, because he was white. They really wanted this guy to be MAGA, and it's kind of hard to accuse him of being MAGA when there is a photo of him with a clip, and it's on with oil marker. It says "Kill Donald Trump." When it says something like that, yeah, it's kind of hard to make 2 + 2 = 5 there. Definitely some very suspicious stuff here.
Is something that I would that was common at the time. A lot of targeted individuals reported hearing Obama's voice, like for the ones that were getting synthetic telepathy, the V2K, the voice skull, like they had the voice of Obama talking to them, trying to tell them what to do. And I laughed about that until they did it to me. So they could, in fact, have Donald Trump's voice, using it to make people angry and turn them into, because you got to make it political as well. Okay, you got to make the shootings highly political so people can pay attention to it. So that's one of those ringers as well. When they hate a president so much, it's probably somebody who's an on-shelf shooter. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was done with that rant. Go ahead.
Hello?
I said, yeah, so, yeah, I'm done. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, very, very, very strange coincidences. If I had the money, I would actually. I'm almost tempted to go to Texas and Minnesota and actually do a little bit more, go and do a little bit more research into this, because both of these shooters, the one specifically that targeted kids, there's some very strange, eerie coincidences. And yeah, and it's not just the actual event itself, it's the things around the event. Like, does the FDA suddenly make a big appearance? Does the FDA in some way make an appearance around the Robin Westman situation and really fight hard to avoid allowing access to his medical records? Like that. That would be a big tip off for me. Like, that would be a monumental tip off for me, for one. Are they going to attempt to hide his economics? Like, what about the parents in this situation? Again, I don't know whether he was a single parent, whether he was a child of a single parent household or not. But here's another thing that a lot of these guys have. Single parent households. He lived with his mom, not with his dad. I believe that was the case. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but it's like, yeah, there is. When you start talking about accelerationists, like, there's some. Yeah, I'm just gonna end it off right there. There are some very, very weird and eerie connections between Westman and Ramos, the Uvalde shooter. And, I think that needs to be taken a very strong look at. And with that, we are going to move on to the next topic. Like I said, folks, this was going to be a very heavy show. This is going to have a lot of dark topics tonight, and I wasn't kidding you when I said that. Okay. Are we going to actually get to the... Teams has been acting up really weird like lately. I don't know why it's been doing this, but it has been. I'm going to have to do this via the phone. Oh, wait, no. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So the next topic is... All right. Now we're going to get into another situation, which again, I have a video for. Raja Jackson is the son of Quentin Rampage Jackson. Now, in the wrestling arena, he actually committed full-fledged assault on somebody called Psycho Sid. And there has been authorities have been very, very slow to arrest. But here, let me just show you the video. Again, it runs 1 minute and 26 seconds. Parental advisory, of course, because again, this is another one of those dark topics. So yeah, here's the video of Raja Jackson attacking Psycho Sid in the rink. Why do I keep calling it the rink? I've got hockey on the brain. The wrestling arena, the wrestling ring.
No, Stu, stop it! Come on, Stu.
You! Shut up! Whoa! Whoa! Come on, Stu, get up!
Oh my god! Oh my god! He's bleeding so bad. The dude who came in like punched him for real.
Okay. Again, he just seemed to come. I don't know whether he was actually involved in this. What I do know is that this particular wrestling community has been rounding the wagons on Raja Jackson. He is the son of Quentin Rampage Jackson. Now, Rampage Jackson has got some luggage. Has got some baggage from his past. One of the first things that comes up is, was this assault planned out ahead of time? You know, because wrestling, and this is something that I found out when I started doing a bit of a deep dive on Hulk Hogan. Again, Hulk Hogan, you know, like, obviously not nearly as squeaky clean as people might think he was. I mean, I liked him as a wrestler, but I mean, you know, he obviously was not a perfect human being. The whole situation with this is that, like, was Psycho Sid on the outs with this particular wrestling federation, right? Like, that's something, like, I mean, I don't want to start putting on a tinfoil hat here, but I mean, one of our proud commercial sponsors is Tinfoil Hats R Us. So the way this is being handled, the way the police are dragging their ass on apprehending this guy because he is the son of Rampage Jackson, and the other wrestlers in this particular wrestling company have rounded the wagons and are refusing to cooperate with the police in their investigation, kind of gives me the suggestion that there's more to this than meets the eye. I mean, you clearly saw the video. I mean, he went in there and he body slammed him, and then he just crawls up on top of him, and then he just starts punching him like ceaselessly. And if it hadn't have been for that one guy with the pink dreads and that one guy with the clown suit stepping in there to pull him away, I mean, he might have literally beaten Psycho Sid to death. Now, Psycho Sid has woken up from the situation, but he was obviously in critical condition and, was being monitored 24/7. The part that really, again, though, the part that stands out for me on this is the fact that, this guy, Raja Jackson, was obviously not a poor kid from the ghetto. He's not a hood rat. Quentin Rampage Jackson he made a significant fortune. I mean, he wasn't super, super rich, but I mean, he was not poor, right? So Raja Jackson did not grow up in the hood. Like, he's not hood black. Like, he's African American, but he's not hood black, right? The number of situations here, the choices are rather limited in terms of why Raja Jackson would choose to do what he chose to do, and none of them are particularly good. And again, right, the fact that the Wrestling Federation itself is telling all of its wrestlers not to really cooperate with the police unless they get court orders and that sort of thing. And the fact that the police are dragging their heels because Raja Jackson is the son of Quentin Rampage Jackson. Yeah, there's probably something else going on here that might get revealed down the line. But I mean, it's like there's multiple videos of Raja Jackson doing this to Psycho Sid in the ring, and it's going to be very, very difficult for Raja to not have to serve some jail time for what he did. And as you can clearly see, he was not, without actually getting into his own head and having spent some time around him, I really don't know what he was like as a person. Like, was he the type of person that would just go? Because, there have been MMA fighters that were like this. There was a guy by the name of John Copenhaver, known as War Machine. He was not exactly the brightest light on the Christmas tree. He was involved. He actually was doing porn too, and his girlfriend was a woman by the name of Christy Mack. Try not to laugh too hard when I start describing her to you. Tatted up, piercings, porn star. She liked heavily well-built guys. John Copenhaver and her broke up, and she was with her new guy, and Copenhaver just literally almost busted into her place and beat the shit out of the guy she was with, and almost beat Christy Mack to basically 2 inches worth of her life, and then realized what the fuck he'd done, and then took off. But he is serving, I think it's 30 years in prison for that. So yeah, there have been MMA fighters that have been, just like with a lot of individuals, there's a lot of MMA fighters that are not mentally stable, or maybe they take too much juice or steroids or whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, there's definitely not everything about this does not add up for me. Especially the covering up of the Wrestling Federation telling its other wrestlers to not cooperate with with the authorities. Oh, one other thing, and I don't know why I didn't bring this up, but I will have to bring this up in regards to topic number 2. Trans and non-binary make up less than 1% of the population, but somehow they are definitely more than 1% of all the mass shooters out there. But you know what? I am going to turn this over to V so he can have his say.
Yeah, you know what? I am not a guy who follows wrestling.
Neither am I, right? So,
I mean, last night, just because I'm in a hotel room, I found myself with the TV on and watching women's wrestling. But when I do watch wrestling, it's women's wrestling. I don't know any of the guys anymore. So, I don't know. Did any of these guys, were any of them on steroids or anything?
I would have to imagine that they would be, because wrestling takes a real serious physical toll on your body. Yeah, it's fake, but in order to make it look real, you have to pretty much go right to the edge.
Well, and to have the best looking physique as well. Yeah, the steroids. So, I kind of feel as though some of the steroids gets to these guys' heads, which is kind of probably, I think maybe that's why these wrestlers are being told not to talk without, court, mandatory court orders. Because I know it's a big thing, big scandal with Hulk Hogan having to come out and say, yeah, he used steroids. That nearly destroyed the wrestling whole scene, nearly. So if that's still going on and some people are admitting to steroid usage, that could be devastating to the whole sport and everyone in it. It could be. So that's kind of my guess on it. If there's going to be inquiries about steroids, some people are going to go down. There's going to be rebranding having to be done. There's going to have to be ownership changing hands, this and that. People being fired just for this thing to survive. So I don't know. That's just kind of my thing right now. If someone was too hot-headed, too juiced up, because like you said, the guy just kind of woke up and realized what he was doing and got the hell out of there. Yeah, so these guys can get roided up and go nuts. So, that's all I have to add to it.
Once again, you caught me in the middle of chewing down on something while you.
I tried to stretch it out as much as I could because, like I said, I don't know much about this. Wrestling is not my thing.
Well, here's the thing. Wrestling is not really my thing either. Hold on a second. The way this went down and the way it was like so public, though, and the way that both the police and the wrestling federation that they're working for are not cooperating with the police in any form or fashion, kind of strongly suggests that there is something else behind it. So it's like, yeah, you're like looking at it and you're like going, okay. And there's a big involved in it. Like, what's going on here? Something doesn't quite seem to be adding up. And of course, this is probably going to be one of those situations down the road where they will take a look at it and there will be something that will not add. But again, right, there has been suggestions that there have been suggestions that, I mean, they're not going after him because he is the son of Rampage Jackson, but that has very limited
Which is
pull.
why I suspected the steroids, right?
Oh, yeah, that has very limited pull. So, yeah, more will be. I think the conclusion that we can make about this one is more will be revealed. There have also been individuals that have brought up the racial aspect of it. Was Psycho Sid perhaps like dissing Raja Jackson behind his back? Was he engaging in racial epitaphs and that type of thing? We really don't know for sure. What we do, it's also been suggested that there's been maybe black privilege because Raja Jackson is black and famous. But I mean, as it's been shown, it doesn't matter how famous you are. Like at some point, the authorities will move and act on you if they have to. So that also does not add up and does not compute and does not make any sense. So, but yeah, that's really all there is on this one so far. More will be revealed, obviously, but with that, we are going to move on to the next topic here. And the next topic is, as soon as Teams comes up, Teams has been very, very, very fussy on this laptop that I've got here. I'm going to have to... for the likes of me, I do not know why they did not just try to do updates to Skype as opposed to doing stuff with Teams. Oh, this one. This one was long overdue. Donald Trump has finally started making moves in dealing with George Soros. Now, let's just get into some of the stuff that George Soros has gotten into, because, I mean, his tentacles are literally everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, I mean everywhere. Just since 2020, okay, we have direct links with George Soros having provided money to both Antifa and BLM and indirectly funded the riots that took place back then. We also have him through various NGOs and other organizations funding defund the police movement in almost every major city in North America. These particular DAs and mayors, including, by the way, I think it's Gregor Robertson in Vancouver. Every city where he has had a mayor that he has sponsored. And I cannot confirm for sure that Gregor Robertson of the current Vancouver mayor is one of them or not. Every single city, LA, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Philadelphia, Washington, DC, Chicago, New York, Dallas, Atlanta, St. Louis, right? All of the cities that he has been able to, and specifically Minneapolis. Every one of the cities that he's been able to get his tentacles into, the drug problem has literally just gone out of control. Again, my new job requires me to be front facing. So I get to deal with individuals suffering from addiction on a regular basis now. And, even in cities where he hasn't quite been able to get his tentacles in completely, like the city that I live in, right? the drug problem has gotten noticeably worse. And I can say that with direct experience this time. And when I mean noticeably worse, I mean noticeably worse. The whole thing has gotten really, really bad. Then you get into the No Kings situation that occurred and how that was completely astroturfed. And you got the way how Project 2025 just somehow kept collecting legs, and about how the anti-Elon Musk protests and how you had people somehow like all getting on buses and someone was paying for these buses to take these two events out of town to protest at events, and the suspiciously coordinated activities around Tesla, and most specifically the very rather suspicious funding of the anti-ICE protests in LA. Now, you take a look at all of them, and when you start to peel away the layers, what you keep finding out is that there's a very shady, suspicious money funnel that keeps running to them. Now, when Donald Trump is talking about a RICO statute, RICO was supposed to apply to, RICO was designed to deal specifically with the mafia. Because what was happening is that they would get these people in court, these mobsters in court, and what they would do is that, well, no, we didn't actually kill anybody, so why am I the one being prosecuted? It would be very difficult it got very difficult to prosecute them. What RICO did was basically go, well, okay, no, you didn't actually order the outright, you didn't actually participate in the killing yourself. You just you just provided the money, or you provided the materials, or you were the one who made the call and you made the order, and it's sort of like, so yeah, while you didn't actually commit the crime yourself, you were the one who basically made the call to action to commit the crime. And what that makes you just as guilty as the people who actually did it. So what Donald Trump is doing is he's actually applying the same statutes that work against organized crime, and he is flipping those around, and he's suggesting that he's going to use RICO statutes to go after George Soros, because George Soros and it's been proven time and time again that George Soros has been using proxies to destabilize the U.S. government at almost every turn, putting in mayors that turn the cities that they end up taking over into drug-ridden hellholes that nobody wants to live in. And, like that particular style of law enforcement that Soros NGOs and third-person agencies have been providing, it's very, very clear that particular type of law enforcement is not working, but they keep trying anyway. Not overly surprised about this, and not particularly, it was going to happen at one time or another anyway, with him, because it was like Trump was going to have to deal with Soros. Like, there's absolutely no way, if you have somebody like this going around using third-party agencies to fund organizations. And let's not even forget his support in academia, which has also been deliberately designed to destabilize Western governments. And you have somebody who is actively on almost every level attempting to do things to destabilize the living situation in North America. It's like you have to do something about that. Like there is absolutely no freaking question that you must do something about it. And, Trump is finally heading, well, I will say finally, because he has only been in power. He's only been in power like 7 or 8 months. So, this is not, it's like, I won't say finally. This was probably on the agenda with him. Soros has taken runs at Donald Trump in the past. It's long been suspected that some of the individuals that tried to get Trump on lawfare also, were funded by Soros. By the way, I'm also going to mention this about Trump because I decided to delete this as a topic because I didn't think it was significant enough. That $500 million ruling against Trump, that has been overturned. But again, it's like, you have a very clear direction of travel from Soros. Now, when I talk about Soros here, I'm just gonna find a photo of him here. Yeah, there he is. In this photo, I'll put it up very briefly, is Alex Soros. Now, when I look at Alex Soros, the first thing I think of is a weak, spineless man who is just basically there doing his father's bidding so that he can potentially have access to that money after his father dies. And Alex Soros is also, he is basically George Soros's right-hand man, from what I understand. One of the tweets that Alex Soros was most famous for is when he posted up a photo of a gun and $45 in cash on I think it was on Twitter. And, while he wasn't, and again, it would be, oh, well, he's just mocking. But if you look at the way George Soros's organizations operate, like Alex Soros putting that gun in there and then putting $45 down, when you look at that from a different perspective, it suddenly, it's not, like the implication is fairly obvious, right? Like Alex Soros is completely and totally devoted to George Soros, and Alex Soros has said and done things that I think George Soros maybe wants to say, but can't. And yeah, he is probably maybe even more culpable than his dad. I really do personally hope that Soros actually does have to face prosecution, because it's like, let's not kid ourselves here. Like, even in cities where they didn't manage, like, for instance, they don't have full control over Edmonton, where I live, for instance. Even in cities where it wasn't like, where it didn't turn into a complete disaster, right? Like, he has done so much damage to the United States and so much damage even into Canada that, it's going to take like literally an entire generation to fix it. And absolutely, totally in favor of having George Soros answer to some RICO charges. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to V.
Yeah, if only we had this for like Kissinger or somebody, maybe have this for for Reagan when he got out of office. For the whole Iran Contra. Oh my gosh. Well, it's fine. Yeah, RICO. George Soros. Yeah, sure, absolutely. I didn't know he lived in the country.
He does, yeah.
I thought he lived somewhere in Europe or something. But, well, I guess now's the time for him to relocate then, huh? Yeah. I mean, this guy, George Soros. Well, he's been in the news enough, and to be quite honest with you, he hasn't stopped trying to be in the news. Sort of, I don't know, wanting to think of himself as a folk hero or something, perhaps, singing his own praise. And, well, it's backfiring on him because if you make yourself a folk hero, that means the government can lay down on you as hard as they want to. Because history, they always have. Okay? They always have. No matter how right or wrong you are. You show yourself some sort of vigilante, they're going to come down on you with a vengeance. If they're going to pull out old RICO law, man, they're serious. They're essentially calling this man a mobster, a crime lord. Which is like, they might as well get it out there, say these words. They warn the hell out of terrorists, right? Let's get the nomenclature out there. Let's go ahead and do it. Because it's not going to go through unless they do. It really isn't. So this counterculture that's going on, supposedly funded by him, has to be labeled and given such names by the culture, by the establishment. So he needs to get on that part. And yeah, I mean, if he does that, I hope he doesn't stop there. Let's get the Clintons. Let's get the Clinton Foundation. Let's go. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be quiet. Okay, so you know what? Let's just hope something comes out of this, because if nothing comes out of this, well, there's just gonna be rich people shooting shots at each other. And by the way, deep state. If Soros was supposed to be deep state, he wasn't deep enough. So who knows? He might be a sacrificial lamb. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see as this develops. And back to you, Naruki.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I really would love to see Soros face in the music. I mean, we could go. There actually, you know what? There have been individuals that have gone on waxed poetically about George Soros. We don't really have to go, but I will. What I will do, though, is I will just briefly post this photo up, because we can all imagine him in an orange jumpsuit. How ironic, because he is an actual Holocaust survivor. Would find it very ironic that he spent a significant part of his childhood behind bars because of his Jewishness, and now would have to spend the balance of his life behind bars again. Because, I mean, again, he participated, and him and Alex, both of them, have participated in events that were clearly designed to, destabilize North America in particular. They also give other Jews who are not necessarily in on this. And by the way, again, because whenever you bring up a guy like Soros, right, first thing you get is, it's the Jews, it's the Jews, it's the Jews, it's the Jews, it's the Jews. It's like they can't seem to distinguish between the fact that there are Jews that are actually actively opposing what's going on and the ones that are participating, right? Like, it's not all of them. It was never all of them, right? So this guy, is giving people of the Jewish faith a bad name. And I mean, yeah, both him and Alex, and yeah, I'm just gonna finish up. I mean, just take a look at this photo of him, right? Like, he looks like a fucking soy boy. Tell me I'm wrong about this. Does he not look like a soy boy to you?
He's a soy boy and a half.
Yep. He looks like a total fucking soy boy. I mean, for those of you who are going to go, what about Donald Trump Jr.? Well, one, I haven't seen Donald Trump Jr. live in person, but I mean, soy boy is not the thing that I think about when I look at Donald Trump Jr. or any of Donald's kids. Most of Donald's kids would probably have done okay, even if Donald was or wasn't around. I mean, you can also tell a lot about a person by how well the kids act. None of Trump's kids are miscreants. Like none of Donald Trump's kids, for instance, film themselves smoking crack and potentially having sex with underage girls, and had to have like the whole apparatus.
Lady boys.
Yeah, lady boys, and having or smuggling cocaine into the goddamn White House. Like, none of them have done anything like that. So, I mean, it's like, you know, like, you can tell a lot, but I mean, Alex Soros has clearly, like, you know, like, some of the stuff that he's posted up, I mean, he is absolutely his father's son. He's like like, I mean, his identity is tied around his dad, which is something, by the way, you definitely cannot say about Donald Trump Jr., even though he does have his father's name, right? Just thought I'd throw that out there for you to be just for your consideration. Hope he actually does see the prosecution of George Soros through. I would love to see it if it succeeds. I don't think it will. But I mean, what Donald Trump is also letting George Soros know is that, yeah, dude, you stick your nose into the affairs of the U.S. at any level again, like, we're going to come for you, right? It doesn't matter how wealthy you are. We're going to come for you. And it's like, yeah, we're done looking the other way on you constantly fucking with and attempting to destabilize the U.S. government. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, we're not going to tolerate it. We're not going to put up with it, right? And it's like, yeah, like, this is a typical Donald Trump move. Fire a shot across the bow. I'd like to think the Soroses are smart enough to put 2 and 2 together and realize that they can't go there anymore and that their goose is cooked if they do. And with that, we will move on to the next topic, which is... Oh, wow, we're only 5. We're only like 5. We're only at topic number 5 here. Okay. This one, you know, this one is the Canada content, so I'm pretty sure V is not going to have very much to say about this.
Well, it's a good thing because I do have to go. I've got to get up early in the morning. I've got to get the luggage. I got to get on the road.
Okay. Well, in that case, what I can do is I can move 6 to 5, and we can do the woke video game, because that one is definitely more up your alley. And then I can rearrange the topics after the fact.
Okay.
We can do the woke video game instead. Okay, so topic 5 is now topic 6, and topic 6 is now topic 5. All right.
All right. Thanks,
now,
everybody.
All right. 2:00. Well, he looks like he left early. Okay, so what happened with CBC is that CBC kids got caught engaging in race-based hiring practices for its new show. And what ended up happening is that they got caught, and it's like, and of course it's CBC. It's CBC. So, hi Sonia. If you want to jump in, let me know. I sent you a link. If you want to jump in, feel free. So the whole situation here is the fact that a government, by the way, CBC is a government-sponsored entity, that a government-sponsored entity would spell out so clearly that they are not going to hire a white male for a position, as opposed to, say, burying it and just basically telling HR we don't want a white male for the position, is, there's no way of saying it other than that is anti-white racism. Now, CBC is in a lot of trouble. In fact, CBC would be in even more trouble had Justin Trudeau not actually given most of the mainstream Canadian media an actual sponsor, gave them a $600 million bailout plan start of last year or something like that, or 2023, which is basically helping keep specifically CBC afloat, because there's not really a whole lot that I watch on CBC anymore, right? Like, I will go and I will watch Hockey Night in Canada, for instance. I'll watch hockey there, but I won't. I'm not really all that interested in watching their programming, right? The award shows that the Canadian government puts off is for television, or is just an absolute joke. The fact that, but I mean, I don't think it's gotten to the point where they've been flagrant. Now, I don't know if they got backed up, because True North, The Rebel, and a couple of other news sources in Canada actually exposed this for what it was. And maybe they backed off on it. We're reaching the point in both the US and Canada where engaging in this type of race-based hiring practices is probably not going to be the best solution long-term for anybody. CBC, at some point, the money, people are just going to get sick of CBC, and the money is just basically going to run out. If Alberta separates, the money for CBC is definitely not going to be there. So yeah, you're looking at a situation where where it's going to get very, very CBC might last longer than some of the networks, but I mean, you're starting to see, for instance, MSNBC has changed its name to MS Now. CNN is starting to fracture a little bit. NBC, CBS, and ABC News are also kind of starting to fracture a little bit. You're starting to see this happen everywhere as the mainstream. And you're also seeing, and I didn't report this, but you're also seeing left-wing institutions attempting to organize and coordinate alt-media leftist content creators are starting to try to organize and coordinate the same way they've been doing on the right. Although I can tell you they haven't been coordinating on the right nearly as much as they like to think. And there's definitely not a lot of coordination inside the manosphere, for sure. So, yeah, am I surprised that CBC would do something like this? No, I'm not. Am I a little bit surprised that they would do it in such a flagrant and racist manner? Yeah, I am. And I have said this multiple times over the years on this show, and I'm going to say it again, right? The day I see something like this and I just go, meh, whatever, right, is the day I start looking around to do something else, right? I think as, again, I'm not white myself, but I mean, I totally get, I got a significant portion of my family that is, though, and having to imagine that, that they're going to hit critical mass on this sooner rather than later, right? And again, right, without having to put my tinfoil hat on, again, I am going to have to go, well, just like what? Like seriously, like what? Right? Like how far do you want this to go before people just decide that they've had enough? And like that's really what it boils down to. Don't have to call for revolution, because the best strategy that I can think of that we can do right now is to just stand and point and let the people in the middle and I don't worry about the diehards on the other side, right? Unless the diehards on the other side, which by the way, they did actually try coming after me here earlier this, like not even 2 weeks ago. And I actually had to do a full Neuroki 5 live stream about that event. They're not in really like the old establishment media and the way they are doing things is just slowly but surely starting to not work. And it's starting to not work to the point where the revenue is starting to dry up, right? And their attempts to try to take over the alt media and try to control the alt media have also not really worked out very well for them either, because the way, and again, say what you want to about the internet, I am going to propose to you that if it wasn't for the internet, we would probably be living in a complete and total police state by now, right? Like too many people know. And yeah, I haven't heard somebody say, well, what's the big deal? It's just the internet. I haven't heard anybody say anything like that about the internet in like 5 or 6 years now. So yeah, the internet is definitely being taken very, very seriously by by people in power. And yeah, again, right, what you got to do is when you're dealing with this, you got to go through, and when you see an organization like, say, CBC in Canada doing something like this, you get out, you stand and point. Yeah, sometimes they'll break away, or sometimes they'll go run and hide, which is what happened specifically with this last person. Sometimes they'll double down, sometimes they'll ignore you. Very rarely do they actually come out and directly address it. Cracker Barrel kind of did it last week, but I mean, that's the exception rather than the rule. Yeah, so they're aware that there's a lot of companies out there that are aware of what they're doing and that they need to change. And I mean, I think even BlackRock and Vanguard have figured out that they need to back the fuck off. But with that, I will get into the last topic of the evening, which is Asmongold exposing a woke video game company. Oh my God. Yeah, all right. Well, okay. I think I can probably get away with mentioning the name of the company that was involved in this. The name of the company that was involved in this was known as Anima Creates. Now, the really weird part about Anima Creates is that they had very, very suspicious ties to, of all people, Bill Gates. Now, when Asmongold exposed this, like, I was taking a look at this and I'm like going like what the fuck were you thinking? But then again, Anima Creates, when they went over to their site, seemed to be more concerned with the fact that they had BIPOC and LGBTQ and women game designers. That seemed to be their central focus. Now, as we all know, Sweet Baby, unlike Gamergate, Sweet Baby actually had an impact on what happened, although it didn't last as long as Gamergate. It actually had an impact on how games are being designed and whatnot. The censorship of Steam by Collective Shout also kind of brought this up. But I mean, while there have been games before where the criminals got glorified, Grand Theft Auto immediately springs to mind in terms of that particular narrative. You know, this particular situation, we're dealing with human traffickers, people who sell underage girls into slavery and whatnot. And again, like, as despicable as a lot of the characters were on Grand Theft Auto, there were lines that that Rockstar Games and GTA would not cover. Glorifying this particular type of game and making it try to look cool and hip and hype and whatever was not really going to go over very well. Asmongold called them out. The moment they got called out, like, they very, very, very wisely decided to retreat into the background. I can't imagine Take Us North is going to be very popular. There might be a few people that might upload it, but again, right, like, when you get games like this that are really politically loaded, and there was one that we covered a few months ago, it also really did not go over particularly well, and it didn't sell particularly well. And the same thing is going to happen here. Is it an interesting idea? Yeah. Should they have maybe not picked the U.S. border and the U.S. government as the bad guys? Yeah, that was probably a fairly good idea too. But again, though, like I say, Anima Creates is a woke video game company. They made woke content. I'm really at a loss as to what would make somebody think that coming up with a game idea like this would be a good idea, right? The people who are engaged in the people smuggling are probably tied into the cartels, which are responsible for a lot of the damage that has taken place in a lot of other cities in North America. And also, got to point out, because we were just talking about George Soros, how much of that stuff is being clandestinely supported by the undermining of the U.S. government by George Soros third-party entities also plays a part in it. So yeah, George Soros' tentacles get tied up in this as well. But to go and make a video about something like this and to glamorize something like this and to think that something like this was actually going to go over well with the community, especially knowing the way things are turning, right? Knowing the way the worm is turning, perhaps on this particular issue, is the highlight of absolute stupidity. And, you know, again, I'm not a big gamer guy, but I mean, this particular video had to be covered, and it is. So, you know, without anybody else here to make any comments about it, I'm really just going to, I'm going to end the topics tonight. I do have a bunch of videos that I'm going to show you here at the end for entertainment purposes. You know, just because I think that they're kind of funny. So anyway, so here we are. I am going to, there's going to be 3 of them here. I'm going to start out with the Manosphere stuff, though, just because, you know, want to make a point about something here. So here's the first one.
I miss you too, babe, but I'll let you go. I'm heading back to the dorm with some friends.
Yeah. Just remember, folks, them hoes ain't loyal. And yeah, I did have that photo sitting in the background. I didn't think I was going to get to it before the end, but yeah, there's another one. Now here's another one, another Manosphere one. It's a very short one, but again, right? If you're offended, well, I really don't care.
I'm a compulsive liar. I'm going to try to sleep with all of your friends, and I'm a narcissist.
I love bad boys. You should come over tonight. Now that I've been bored out like an oil well, I'm ready to settle down and marry for money.
I'm a CEO. I'm willing to lose half my stuff to get laid.
Yep. And here's another one, and this is where I will end off tonight.
Have you or someone you love undergone gender reassignment and feel like something may still be missing? Addictomy may be right for you.
Addictomy is a reconstructive procedure that gives back what you senselessly removed. Our clinical consultation allows you to return to normal, and maybe with a couple of extra inches you didn't have before. Side effects may include common sense, urinating standing up, physical activity, and heterosexual relationships.
You've tried soft. Now get hard again. Call your doctor and ask if addictomy is right for you.
And that is the show tonight. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I will also throw in something. The next show of Red Pill Nation is not going to be on Sunday. I absolutely know that now. So, yeah, I will announce when it's going to be. It is going to be later on in the week. But I want to thank everybody who decided to stick around and watch tonight. I hope you got some. Yeah, there were some rather heavy topics to discuss tonight. So, you know, there's that. Anyway, that is it for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I will see you on the next one.